What's up, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Aaron Berkshire. Appreciate you guys checking out this video. Today we're going to talk about a good starting camera if you're getting into sports photography, videography. I got hit up yesterday by a friend of mine who wanted to just ask me for a kind of a $1,500 to $2,000 budget, what would be a good starting point for him and a good lens. So in this video, we're going to talk about that a little bit. Let's get into it. All right, guys, so let's get right to it. I'm not going to talk about Sony or Nikon because I don't shoot with Sonys and Nikons, and even though I did shoot on Sony in the past for a couple years and I do have some knowledge on it, I'm a full-time Canon user, and I've been a Canon user for a few years now, and dreams, right? Maybe one day I will be able to have a relationship with Canon. Everyone can dream, So, but in this video, I am going to talk about what is a good starting point for a good camera, and I'm going to tell you that you can go DSLR, but I highly suggest get into the mirrorless world. I'm shooting this right now on a Canon EOS R mirrorless, and then I have my full-time gear behind me is R5s and an R6. We have 4 Canons total in our family. Normally when I leave, I take 2 or 3, and my wife always has to have 1 or 2 at home to work with and do her job. So let's get into it. Starting point, EOS R, great starting mirrorless Canon camera from coming in around, I think it's like 15 to 2,000, somewhere around there. I know you can get them used on Facebook Marketplace. Look for good deals and bulks on Amazon. But recently they did put up they put out the new Canon R8 and the R10, and even though I don't have those cameras and I can't really talk about the specs too much of them, I know that those are a little bit more budget friendly cameras, and I can tell you that you're not going to go wrong with Canon. So if you want a good starting camera, check out an R8 or an R10 in the Canon mirrorless area. Now, say you don't want to jump into mirrorless yet, and you just want to get into old school DSLR, not a mirrorless camera. Maybe check out something like a Canon 90D, or check out something like a Canon 6D, an old 6D Mark II or something like that, or a Mark IV. These are amazing cameras that you can get on better deals now because the mirrorless cameras are just so, new and very, very, used right now, very, very much in the mirrorless cameras. But that does not take away from the footage and the photography. I was going to say photos, but it doesn't take away from the photography that a Canon 80D, 90D, Canon 6D, Canon 5D. There's so many different, cameras that still have DSLR and there's not mirrorless, like an actual mirror that, pops open and takes the shot. And you can really get a great camera right now on a good budget if you don't want to go mirrorless. But like I said, if you want to go mirrorless, which I do suggest nowadays, check out an R, check out a Canon R8, check out a Canon R10. I will link my links for these cameras on Amazon below in this YouTube video. I will link them below, but check them out, and if you really want to get into it, I'm going to say something here, it doesn't really matter when you're getting into it what camera you're picking, as long as it's like, obviously a good camera, a decent camera, but learn your settings, okay? You want to really, really watch videos, read, do whatever you got to do to learn and understand your shutter, and understand your ISO, and understand your aperture, and understand what each one of these things do and how they work together, what shutter you're using for what scenarios and what situations. Learn how high you can pump your ISO, which is like fake digital light. It makes your photo, it makes it brighter digitally, so it's not, it's going to be very grainy depending on what camera you use. You just want to learn about ISO, you want to learn about aperture. From cell phones nowadays, we know that aperture is a big thing because people love portraits, people love the big blurry backgrounds and whatnot. So that is what aperture is, and you see lenses all the way from like 4, 5, whatever, f-stop 4.5, f-stop 3.5, the normal zooms. And they go all the way down to what I have back here. I have RF 1.2s, we have 1.8s, 1.4s, 2.8s, f2s. There's so many different levels of aperture and blur and bokeh in the background that you can go for depending on what you're shooting and what you want to do and what kind of art you really want to put out. So just take all that into consideration. Also remember that the prime lenses that have a low aperture like 1.2, 1.4, these are going to be on the more pricey side. So if you're just getting into photography, I suggest maybe getting something like a Canon 50mm 1.8, which I know is not a prime lens, but it actually is a very good lens. I actually have it back here on the shelf. I use it sometimes when my R5 is on the gimbal and I'm shooting at weddings. It's lightweight and it is an absolute destroyer of a lens. So pick up a Canon R8, pick up a Canon R10 or Canon EOS R. And if you have a little budget, check out an R6. It might be more of what you're going to if you want to get into better video specs. And of course, a full frame camera, because the R8 and the R10, I believe, are not full frame cameras. So, yeah, I mean, they're all great. They're all great starting points though. So for anyone who is wondering, I really want to get into photography and I really want to, take pictures and videos at games, and I want to do this and I want to get into this, just remember, learn your settings, learn your shutter, learn your ISO, learn your aperture, learn how your white balance, your color profiles, learn how to use the camera first. No matter what camera you get, if you learn how to use those things, you will become a successful photographer, videographer, creator. That I promise you. So that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed this rant. I hope you can take something from this video today if you're just getting into photography, if you're new, if you're a beginner at any age. So thanks for watching. Like this video, share this video, comment on this video, tell a friend, tell a family member. Thank you again, and until the next one, peace.